Okay, it is your life. मनन भाई रिकॉर्डिंग भी शुरू कर दो एंड देन प्ले द जिंगल. For the jingle, you will have to unmute yourself, Manan bhai.
बजेगा भारत, झूमेगा भारत.
This is Bharat FM.
Namaste everyone to Bharat FM, YogaLeher GeetaMehek on Bharat FM every Thursday 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard. तो आज फिर से मैं orange में आ गई हूँ. I've come again in orange. So we must be talking a little bit about Swadhisthana chakra, and then we will do Bhagavad Gita. We will probably end a little bit sooner today. So because I have to pick up my son from school. So we will start with yoga asana only today again. So the Swadhisthana chakra, as we talked about, is the second chakra. Reminding again, it's in the pelvic area. So the first one was right at the tailbone. The second one is in the little bit above that. So about 2 to 3 inches below your navel, if you are talking from the front. So it is not, so it's all the chakras, the energy centers are along the spine, but it is going all the way around front to back. So it's not like it's here somewhere. There's nothing structural about it. Also, we are not talking about nerves. So it is not like you can say, okay, these nerves are going and that's the center. That's still structural. What we are talking is more functional. So chakras are energy. Just like if you say, I'm feeling really good today. Well, is that structural? That is not structural. That is functional, right? Or I'm feeling really low energy. Today I'm tired. So if you go to the doctor and doctor says your blood pressure is okay, pulse is okay, your oxygen is okay, your blood test is okay. So what is tired? So that is an energy. It is different than structure. So everything in the physical structure is fine, but you're still feeling tired. So this is where, let me admit one more. And so this is where we have to be mindful that when we are talking of chakras, chakras are not something structural. They are not blood vessels. They are not veins. They are not nerves. They are not your structure. Where this channel, which are all of energy and certain areas where together. So, second chakra, it is a place of your I feel I am why my internet and now came back again in my video again. So that is the Swadhisthana chakra. Swadhisthana chakra is also a so in any kind of area, if the Swadhisthana, you can have blockage, sexuality, but also in your creativity, and they all go hand in hand. Also, your adrenals are and your bladder, your kidneys are also controlled there. So sometimes if your energy is blocked there, people can have what they call adrenal fatigue. So work on the center is important. We are going to do again asana, and then we will do the mantra meditation for that. The mantra for this is, there are many ways to meditate on this chakra, but the Mula mantra is Vam. So the first one was Lam, this one is Vam. So not Vam, it's Vam. So we will, the Vam is what we can chant. The 6 petals have 6 different Sanskrit alphabets, and then the Vam is the main Bija mantra. So let's do some asana today. And these asana, while you're doing it, you will focus on your pelvic. This is also called the sacral plexus. You will focus in area as you breathe in and out. If you are doing all the asanas and all the pranayam, but you're not living a life of truth, if you are not feeling that you are doing what you are meant to do, or you are compromising too much in life, you might still be blocked. So just by asana, you can't open the chakra. Your lifestyle needs to reflect that. So one may be doing all the asana, but be completely blocked or in their sexual and creative energy. So with that in mind, let's do some asana. I had a long day today at work, so I think it's time to do some asana, and I know Kavita would be happy to do some rigorous asana. Now, the reason the rigorous asana is because it is lower down. We'll focus on a lot of asanas where not so much, you will see as we come up higher, their asanas are a little different. So we'll focus on asana for just the lower one. And so there'll be a lot of good asana. So we will start with standing poses. So let's stand on top of our mat. I'm going to see if I can, I'll stand this way. So let's stand at the top of the mat. If you don't have a mat, you can be on your carpet, does not matter. Your feet can be hip distance apart. So we are trying to build more sturdiness, so the second chakra, so let's keep our hip distance apart. Let's roll the shoulder and open up the shoulder. Let's stand in Tadasana for a couple minutes. Take a deep breath in through your mouth and out through your mouth. Actually, let's do it in through your nose and out through your mouth. Let's make a sound as you exhale. A couple more. As you breathe in, let your belly come out. Last one. With your next inhale, let's take the arms overhead. Big inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, take your hips back, bend from your waist. Let's dive down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bend your knees, drop your hips, come on up. Exhale to the side. Let's do it one more time. Deep inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, dive down. Inhale, halfway lift. Straighten your back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bend your knees, drop your hips, come on all the way up. Exhale, arms to the side. Last one, inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, bend from your waist. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bend your knees, come on up. Exhale to the side. Let's make the feet a little bit wider. Let's take a big Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, drop the right hand and let's go to the right side. So a little extension on the right. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, let's go down. Let's again inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, drop the left hand. Let's go to the left. Take a breath here. Inhale, come on up. Exhale to the side. Let's again do an inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, again, forward fold, legs are wide. Here, while the legs are wide, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees, inhale, come on up. Exhale to the side. Let's bring our feet hip distance apart again. Let's do some neck rolls and shoulder rolls before we do Surya Namaskar, basically. Inhale, exhale, chin to the chest. And let's do 3 clockwise. So inhale, clockwise rotation, halfway. Exhale, complete your rotation. 2 more. Inhale and exhale. Last one. Inhale and exhale. Let's do the opposite direction. Inhale, halfway, exhale. Next one. Last one. Let's come back to the center again. Let's rotate our shoulders back, Tadasana. Now let's take both our fingertips to our shoulder. So let's take it to the shoulder. And we're going to do some shoulder rotations. Inhale. Let's bring the elbows together. Take it all the way to the ears. Exhale and bring it down. Let's again do inhale. Halfway. Exhale, bring it down. Third one. Inhale. And exhale. Let's come up to Tadasana. And now with that, we are first going to do, that was just the warm-up for Surya Namaskar. And so now we are going to do the Surya Namaskar, the 12-step Surya Namaskar. We're going to try to do it with 1 breath, 1 pose. So we're not going to be holding, we're just going to do a flow. So inhale, arms overhead. No, sorry. I'm sorry. Let's do again. Let's do an inhale. Exhale to heart center. So that's 2. Inhale, now arms overhead. Slight back bend. Exhale, dive down, forward fold. Put your hands on the mat, bend your knees and left foot back, inhale. Hold your breath, right foot back. Come forward if you need to. Exhale, knees, chest and chin to the mat. Flatten your foot, inhale, cobra. Curl your toes, exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left foot forward. Exhale, right foot forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees, drop your hips. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale to heart center. Inhale. Exhale to heart center. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, dive down. Plant your hands. Inhale, right foot back. Hold your breath. Left foot back. Exhale, knees, chest, and chin to the mat. Flatten your foot. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Curl your toes. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right foot forward. Exhale, left foot forward. Inhale, happy lift. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees, drop your hips. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale to heart center. Let's do this 2 more times. Get ourselves really warmed up. Inhale, exhale to heart center. Inhale, up, exhale, fold. Inhale, happy lift. Oh, exhale, fold. I added this, sorry. Plant your hands, inhale, left foot back, hold your breath, right foot back. Exhale, knees, chest, and chin to the mat. Flatten your foot, inhale, cobra, upward facing dog. Exhale, bend, curl your toes, downward facing dog. Now let's stay in downward facing dog. Let's walk your hands. Walk your legs, walk your legs. I don't know how I'm going to walk my hands, huh? Inhale, left foot forward. Exhale, right foot forward. Inhale, happy lift. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees. Inhale, come up. Exhale to heart center. Again, an inhale. Exhale to heart center. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, fold. Inhale, right foot back. Hold your breath, left foot back. Exhale, knees, chest and chin to the mat. Flatten your foot. Inhale, cobra. Curl your toes. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's walk our legs here a little bit. Make sure all your fingers are planted equally. With your next inhale, right foot forward. Exhale, left foot forward. Inhale, happy lift. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees, drop your hips. Inhale, come on up. Exhale to heart center. Now this time, we will start with Surya Namaskar, but we'll continue to do other things along the way. So it will not be a straightforward Surya Namaskar. So, again, let's start with Tadasana. Take a big inhale. Exhale to heart center. Let's do an inhale, arms overhead, back bend. Exhale, forward fold. Now in this forward fold, let's just cycle your legs. So we're going to stay here, open up your back. You can also hold both your elbows. So this is like called the relaxed forward fold, the Uttanasana. Just hang loose. All day long we sit, we stand, but now it's time to hang loose upside down. So this helps open up your lower back. If you have a lot of low back pain, Swadhisthana chakra might be the one where some energy is blocked. So opening it up in both directions, all directions helps it. So let's just hang loose. And now let's plant the right hand down, bend your right knee, keep your left leg straight. Inhale and take the left hand up. Do not lock the left knee. So there's a slight micro bend in the left knee too, but not really a whole lot that you can perceive too much. Exhale, let's come on down. Let's plant the left hand down, bend your left knee. Inhale, right hand goes up.
Exhale, let's bring the right foot down. Now let's go into the next pose. So plant both your hands. Inhale, take the left leg back. And this time, let's plant the knee on the floor. So we are in the low lunge. I'm going to admit someone else is coming on. Let me see, let me admit. Okay. So so now you are here. So let's stay here for a little while. Again, this is a pelvic opener, hip opener. And now take your right hand and plant it on the left side of your right foot. And let's see if you can take the left hand back and either place it here or you pick it up. So it kind of opens the inside of your left groin. Let's plant it back. Let's leave the left hand now on the mat. Inhale and take the right hand up. Don't let yourself drop into the shoulder. Don't dump into your shoulder. Keep yourself lifted. Plant it down. Let's now do one more thing here. Let's go back and sit on the left hip. So let's peel your right toes and let's sit on your hips. So we are going and creating a stretch here. Now let's plant the toes back. Let's peel the toes again. Let's plant the toes back. Let's come forward again. We're going to do one more here before we go. We're going to do, we did a low lunge, we'll do a high lunge. So let's curl your left toes. Let's come up. So let's just raise up here. So this is, we're just keeping our hands down. And your knees up. Now inhale and take the right arm up. Exhale and bring it down. And now take an inhale while you're here. Hold your breath, take your left foot back. So now you are in the high plank, right? Come forward a little bit. Exhale, knees, chest, and chin to the mat. Now here, instead of just coming up, we'll do one pose here before we go forward. We're going to take both our hands and put it underneath the thighs. And we're going to inhale and raise both the legs up. Exhale and bring it down. You can take the hands away. And let's take the hands forward a little bit. Keep it next to you. So you're right here, your elbows are by your side. Inhale and just raise your upper back. While you're here, let's raise your legs too. Exhale, release. Let's make your foot all the way to the edges of the mat. So let's widen the stand, okay? So we're widening the stand. The legs are wide now. Hands the way they were. Inhale, upper body lifts. And then see if you can lift the lower legs too. Exhale, everything goes down. Now let's bring the hands back. Bring your legs together. Inhale, let's come up in upward facing dog. Curl your toes, downward facing dog. Just walk your legs here. Now with your next inhale, let's bring the left foot forward. Let's drop the right knee. And we're going to now flatten the right knee. Now let's take the left hand on the inside of the left foot. And let's see if we can lift the right hand off the mat and create that little stretch on the inside of your right groin. Let's come on down. Let's plant your right hand on the mat. Inhale, and let's take the left hand up. Exhale, let's bring it down. And let's now sit on your hips, peel your left toes back. See here if you can, as much as possible, try to see if you can push your chest forward so then you can feel a better stretch in your legs here and the glutes. Let's plant the toes down. Create a stretch in your calves. And then let's peel the toes again. Let's plant the foot back. Let's bring the hands forward. We're going to try to do a high lunge. So curl your toes and let's come up in high lunge. Leave your right hand on the mat. Inhale, take the left hand up. Don't dump it to your right shoulder. Keep your right shoulder up. Take a couple deep breaths here. And then exhale, come on down. Take a deep inhale while you're in this position. Exhale, bring your right foot forward. So now you are back into forward fold. You can hold both your elbows and you're back into the same position, the relaxed forward fold. Let's do an inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees, drop your hips. Inhale, come on up. Exhale to heart center. And then let's again go in Tadasana. We're going to do, again for Swadhisthana, the Veerbhadrasana, which is the warrior pose series, is also helpful in opening up all the energy centers of the pelvis. So we will try to do some of those. So now, with your next inhale, let's take your left foot back. So we're going to go into Veerbhadrasana, which means your left foot is at sort of at a 45-degree angle. The right foot is straight there. You can bring it as forward as you want it to. Your knee is tracking your second toe. Your right knee is bent. Your pelvis is tilted to the side. Inhale, and let's raise the hands. Do not let your right knee go inside. Keep it open. Take a couple deep breaths here. So I have to adjust myself because I think my pelvis was too forward. So adjust yourself so your pelvis is facing to the side. Let's take an inhale, turn the right palm up, exhale, reverse warrior. In reverse warrior, don't dump yourself down. You're kind of, imagine you're trying to pick something off the shelf up there. Now, if your neck is getting full, you can look down at your left foot. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, let's put your right arm on the right thigh. Sweep your left arm up. That is extended side angle. You can look through your left armpit to the ceiling. You can even look down. Inhale, come on up. Straighten your right knee. Exhale, let's do a reverse triangle. Inhale, come on up. Take your right foot to the front of the mat. So now both the toes are pointing forward. Exhale, bend from your waist. Push your hips out. Let's come on down. You can rest your hands on the mat. You can hold your ankles. If you need a little more, balancing added to it. Put your right hand in the middle of the mat. Inhale, take the left hand up. Exhale, bring it down. Place your left hand on the mat. Inhale, take your right hand down. Continue to breathe in through your nose and out through your nose. During yogasana, we just continue to breathe in through your nose and out through your nose. Exhale, come on down. Let's take both our hands towards the right foot. Let's now bend your right knee so we are kind of going all the way down, creating a stretch on the inside of your left leg. So I'm sitting down. So my actually heels a little up. Let's come back. Let's do it on the other side. So my heels are lifted. Oh, my lights are not on in the back. That's the problem. Let's come back to the middle. We are going back into this pose where we were wide forward fold. And now let's take again our hands to the front of the mat. Turn your toes forward again. Let your right hand be on the mat or on the foot. Inhale, take the left arm up. So we are doing a triangle. You can even have a block or something. You can keep the right knee a little bent, not a whole lot, but a little bent. Inhale, come on up. Now let's do the warrior one. So now let's take the left foot and bring it a little bit inside and a little bit pointing forward. The right leg, so that's creating a little space. So if I go like here, creating a little space, and I'm going to bend my right knee. Now this time my pelvis faces forward. Inhale, arms overhead. So if I go from the side, again making sure my right knee tracks the second toe, so it's not going inside, it stays out. Now, this is a difficult one. I know I haven't done it for a while either, so I don't know if I'll do it, but warrior three. So now warrior three means you're going to now come all the way off your left foot. So we're going to be doing all the way forward just on the right foot. So see if you can bring your hands here, bring your hands forward a little bit, lift your left leg back.
This is warrior 3. Exhale, plant it back. Now when you plant it back, they both are facing forward. Very little gap between them. So this is a pyramid. Put your hands on the waist. Inhale. Exhale. Again, bend from the waist. Bend from the waist. Then let yourself loose. So make sure you're putting equal weight on both legs. If it's too far away, bring it closer. Keep your left hand fingertips on the mat. Inhale, take the right hand up. We won't go too far up, that's fine. Exhale, bring it down. Let's now take your hands forward and bring the left foot next to the right foot. So now we are done all the way on that side, we're done. So now we are back into a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees, drop your hips. Inhale, come on all the way up. Exhale to heart center. So this was all of it on one side. Some of it we won't need to repeat because we already did in the middle, so we don't have to do the same things. But we'll do the warrior series on the other side. So inhale, and let's take the right foot back. Take the right foot back, find a spot. Let's go into warrior 1. So as I explained, find your sweet spot. Keep your pelvis facing to the side, but keep your knee open. Make sure you're looking at both the hands and making sure they're not dropping down. Make sure the outside of your right foot is also planted. Inhale, turn the left palm up. Exhale, reverse warrior. Make sure you're keeping the stretch on the left side. You're not dropping down. You can even look down at your right foot. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, extended side angle. Let's go into extended side angle. Sweep your right hand forward. Create this stretch on your left side. Don't dump into your left shoulder. Inhale, come on up. Straighten your left knee. Exhale, reverse triangle. Make sure you are comfortable. Sthira Sukham Asana. So the pose should be steady and comfortable. If it is uncomfortable, you're not doing yoga, you're just feeding your ego. Inhale, come up. Now we're not going to turn the foot, we're going to go straight into warrior 1. So bring your left foot a little bit, open it up if you need to, make it wider stand. And face your pelvis forward. Bend your left knee. You can take your hands overhead. Some people even like it on their hips in the back to open up their chest. That's fine. This is warrior 1. What we did before was warrior 2. And then there's the Veerbhadrasana 3. If you notice, all of these are pelvic opening poses. Okay, let's try to do 3. So we're going to take our hands forward, lift your right leg off the mat. And gently put it down into a pyramid. So now we are into a
pyramid. So that means both the toes are facing forward. The distance between them is small. We're going to inhale, exhale, and bend. Take your hips back and bend from your waist. So you're not, making an upper back curve as much. You can leave your hands forward. Make sure there's equal weight between the 2 foot. Keep your right hand on the mat. Inhale, take the left hand up. Exhale, bring it down. And walk your hands forward. Bring your right foot next to your left foot. Now you're back to a forward fold. Now let's bend both the knees quite a bit. Let's feel the difference. So you're in forward fold, but you're going to bend your knees. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Now, let's keeping the legs right there. No, let's take the hands right there, but the feet a little bit wider. We're going to do Malasana, which is good for both the first and the second chakra. So Malasana, which means you're going to sit down right from here. If your heels don't, and you have to come on tippy toes, that's fine. So inhale and then exhale and sit down. So you're going to keep your back straight. Now, if you can't do that, it's better that you just stay here, if that's available. But don't do this. So if you're doing this, might as well go like this to keep your back straight. It's important to keep, so you're opening up. The whole point was to open up the pelvis. Exhale, and let's sit down now. I want to make sure we're doing okay on time. Now, we're going to do the butterfly pose. This is one of the most, talked about poses for Swadhisthana. Bring the sole of the feet together, keeping your, now I'll do it from the side. So, your feet are together. The reason I want to do it is because there's a tendency to do this. I would rather you keep your feet high up. If your knees cannot go down, instead of pushing the knees down and curving the back, it's important you keep your knees up if that's where they are, but keep your back straight. So back straight is more important because where are the chakras? Where is the energy center? Along the spine. So if your backs are like this, you're actually blocking the energy flow of Kundalini. You're blocking the flow of energy. So instead, wherever you are, make sure your back is completely straight. You can hold your toes, you can hold right in front, or you can hold underneath. Put your pelvis forward and sit straight. Now let's do some butterfly here. Okay, let's come back to the middle. Big inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, bring your chest forward. Again, we're going to keep the back straight. So you almost are trying to keep your scapula together. You're in the mid back, you're trying to keep them together. You're not trying to separate them. Trying to basically open up the lower back here. That's where I'm working. I'm working here. So when the more I push my chest forward, the better. Now exhale, let's round the back. come back to the middle. Now, let's take the the left foot out. So we're not going to do the front one, we're going to just do the side one. Let's take this out. Sit up tall. Big inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, let's do a side bend. Feel the stretch on your right waist, this lower back. Take a couple deep breaths here. And after you take one big deep breath, and exhale and close this. So bring your right hand down, wherever it is. You can hold both the hands on the thigh, the thigh or the knees or the ankle or the foot. Wherever you are, just close that and take a few deep breaths here. Inhale and come on up. Let's do it on the other side. So put your right leg straight on the side. Inhale, arm overhead. Exhale, let's go to the side. Each side will feel different. Again, don't push yourself. The best way to asana is wherever you feel you can go, do 50% of that. 50% is when you, of your possible stretch, is where you get most benefit. Trying to reach deliberately and pushing to 100% is more prone to injuries. Take a big inhale, exhale, and let's close it down. Inhale and come on up. Now we're going to do the other hip thing where we're going to leave the right foot bent like this. The left foot goes the other way around. So you're going to create a 90 degrees this way bent. So both the knees are at 90 degrees. But this one is curved inside, the left one is curved inside, the right foot is going up. Inhale and exhale. Let's rotate to the left. Inhale, come back to the middle. Let's do it on the other side. So we're going to turn the right knee. It's put on the inside. The left knee this way. I know it's hard to explain to you how to do it. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, let's rotate to the right. So this is doing what? This is creating internal rotation into your hip joint, which is where a lot of time when your pelvis is tight, you hold your tension actually in this area, which is the medial aspect of your, so it's like there are tendons, not even the psoas, which is like the going from the deep tissue of the deep inside of your abdomen into the thigh, but it are the tendons like here on the inside of the groin. They get tight and they pull on your pelvis. So we need to release them. When you sit all day, it gets tight. Inhale, come on up. And let's do a couple of laying down poses. So let's lay down on our back. Let's bend our knees and plant our foot on the mat, arms to the side. Let's just go side to side, just swaying your knees side to side. You can make the sways bigger. Now let's come back to the center. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, drop both knees to the left. And you can turn your head to the right and look towards your right hand. Feel the pull on your right sacroiliac crest and all that, pelvis area. You'll feel the stretch there. This also creates a little stretch on your psoas, which is one of the root causes for back pain. Inhale, come back to the middle. Exhale and drop it to the right. Let's turn your head to the left and you can look towards your left side. Let's come back to the middle. We will do the bridge pose because the bridge pose is great for both the first and the second chakras. So let's take our feet hip distance apart. Bring them as in where your tips of your fingertips are sort of touching the heels. If available. If it's not available, it's fine. If you're having pain in the knee and you cannot bring it that in, that's fine. Inhale and flatten your back. So tuck your tailbone in. Exhale, lift the pelvis off the mat. All the way up. Keep your knees together. So keep your knees the same width as they were when they were down there. So there's a tendency for your knees to come apart. Keep raising your butt up. Don't squeeze your butts. You can even take your shoulder underneath and hold your hands together there. Keep your feet firmly planted. Exhale and let's go down. Give a big hug to yourself. Bring your knees in to your chest. Rock side to side. Come back to the middle. Inhale. Exhale. Drop your knees to the left. Come on, is that you? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Inhale, come back to the middle. What? No, I was talking. Exhale, drop it to the left. Who dropped you, man? Oh, yeah. Okay. Let's come back to the middle. Let's straighten the legs completely. We are just going to do Shavasana for a couple of minutes. So let's bring your feet can be hip distance apart. You can just let your feet flop to the side wherever they're comfortable. Take your hands at about 30 degrees on the side. Open up your palms facing the ceiling. Let your body sink into the mat. Take a few deep breaths in through your nose and out through your nose. When you breathe in, allow your belly to swell, to come up. Your chest should not even rise up. Your shoulders should stay where they are. Only the belly needs to move. Bring your attention to your breath. Feel the air going through your nose. The cool air going through your nose and the warm air coming out of the nose. I invite you to bring your attention to Swadhisthana chakra. Imagine this 6-petal chakra 2 inches below your navel, and it's rotating clockwise. Your pelvis to relax. Allow the clockwise rotation of the orange chakra to happen smoothly. Keeping this chakra is open is important for your well-being, for your creativity, for your sense of identity. When available, bring your hands and place them around your navel and a little bit below the navel where your Swadhisthana chakra is. Acknowledge the presence of this chakra within you and in everybody around you. Leaving your hands there, bring your awareness to your breath again. Right at the tip of your nostril. And silently thank yourself for bringing yourself to the mat today. Whenever you feel ready, you can bend your knees and curl yourself to one side. And when it's available, you can bring yourself to sitting position, keeping your eyes closed in Sukhasana. Bring your hands to the heart center, rub your hands gently. And place your palms over your eyes. And with that, we bring today's yoga session to a close. Oh, where did I go? There it is. Let's see. So that was, again, asanas, which are in general good for us, and then also is a lot of them are good for Swadhisthana. Any questions or thoughts? So we are ready for Gita. Yeah, Bhagavad Gita. Oh, I can't hear you, Ben. Yeah, hi.
Okay, hi. How's everything going? Good?
Yeah, everything.
Busy?
Yes, very busy, but good.
Oh.
Good busy.
Yeah.
One thing or the other keeps me occupied. So.
Oh, I know. I know. As active as you are, work and these activities, yeah? Here
Yeah,
you are on the weekends.
I know. Weekends, yeah. All the Ayurveda. Again, we have the second session of Ayurveda this weekend.
Yeah,
So,
every week. Whenever I get a chance, I catch up. So, good, good. We're good?
Yeah, I did vote yesterday. So those of you, everybody, please, early voting.
Tomorrow.
Where did you go for early voting?
Tomorrow,
Do you
yeah.
have it in Madeira?
Yeah, so early voting is based on where, I'll have to see where for Indian Hill. It is on Smith Road.
Yeah, because for Hamilton County also, it was the Board of Elections on Smith Road.
Yes.
That's the place for early voting.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I don't know Mason location. Mason, it's a little bit...
I think it depends on the county. It was on the base of county.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So,
good.
Yeah, so go for your voting because it's all of us need to exercise our right to vote. And
yes.
Yeah, early voting is it was very the line seems long. Actually, there is no line on the inside, only the car parking. So I didn't even park in the designated. I parked in the the strip mall across and just got the spot right there, and then
It was quick. It was done in minutes.
Oh,
More
okay.
time me a little nervous about, making sure I'm circling the right person.
Yes,
Right.
exactly.
But there are candidates, there are people outside, depending on whom you're voting for, they'll give you, oh, you're the Democratic one, so they'll give you that paper. So you have the names. So you
Right. Everyone's, yeah.
names.
So that's good. Yeah.
Yeah, so I did put that on Facebook that everybody needs to go and exercise their
Oh,
vote
definitely.
instead
Yes.
of and so because of COVID, the fear was that on the day maybe it will be too risky, so just go and do it early. And I wasn't so sure about absentee ballot with everything talk. I mean,
Oh,
people
no.
Right.
anyway.
Because we also initially thought of the absentee ballot, but I think to go early and voting is safer. You're not sure about how the absentee ballot will be counted.
Yeah, there is a place on Smith Road to drop the absentee ballot if that's what you want. But if you're going up till there, you might.
Oh, no. I had that. We thought of doing absentee, but now because it's early voting and I saw yours, I'm like, okay, 5-10 minutes. So I'm doing it first thing tomorrow morning.
Yeah, just go early and do it. When you go and when you're driving, it feels like, oh my God, this is going to be my God, the line. Because, everybody's going in and out. There's police. It's so well coordinated.
Organized.
It's amazingly well coordinated. So I didn't even bother. I'm like, oh, if I have to, their parking lot was pretty much empty because people were going in and out, but I didn't even go. I just parked across in the strip mall.
Okay.
A lot of people were
So it'd be
doing
pretty easy. Yeah. Around what time did you go, Anisha?
I went at 1:30 p.m.
Okay. Because
I think probably morning will be even lesser number of cars.
That's what I was thinking. Between 12 and 1:30 could be lunch hour. So I'm thinking of doing it more like in the morning.
Yeah. So that is awesome because we all need to. And, I was thinking about when you said that, oh yeah, we always work. And so these next two verses, because we are doing the Karma Yoga, the next two verses kind of speak on that. So that was the book here. So any thoughts on the previous verse? So let's go over a little bit on the, here. In the previous verse, he had said that suddenly Krishna is talking about himself. So we are talking about the Atman is talking, or your inner intuition is talking, that there are no obligatory actions and I have nothing to be obtained or nothing to lose, yet I am engaged in prescribed active varta. So I am engaged, varta or varte. So in the last verse, one of the things I forgot to talk about is the varta. It is very important, this word there. He has nothing to gain and lose, and yet he's engaged, this Shrestha person who's situated in their center is varte or varta, which means they are engaged. So one of the things that happens, I think, for people is they think if you work, you're bound to have attachment, or you're bound to have attachment to the action or attachment to the result. But how can you be engaged but not attached? So that's what he is talking about in that verse, that how can we stay 100% engaged but completely detached? So if you're completely detached, then if anything happens, if suppose any action you're doing, you do it with complete engagement, but yet if it doesn't work out the way you wanted or the whole thing flops, you're not like completely down, right? Because you were not attached to it. You were just engaged in it, knowing fully well that there is nothing to gain or lose from that. Now, why no gain or lose? Because the moment you attach gain and loss, then the life is just a bondage. Because now I want, and it really is not dependent on, the way our activities are. It is not about job only. We are engaged, we get attached to every action. So it could be that I may be doing this yoga class and I can be completely attached to it. It is a volunteer activity, but I can be engaged and attached. If I am engaged and attached, then if somebody decides to, after 10 classes, decides, okay, I don't want to come, I'm going to lose my sleep. Why? Why are they not coming? What happened? Somehow it is a judgment on me, right? I think, oh, maybe I need to call that person. I mean, I am volunteering. What's the big deal? They're not paying me. How does it matter? But because I'm attached, I may say, oh, I was worried about you. Or, no. I'm worried about myself. I am attached to it. So I am constantly trying to get a validation, whether we are at work, where we are getting the money, or we're not getting, because money is the, people are working what they're working for, more money, right? Everybody would be, if we never had to make money, we all could do leisurely activities at our own paces, and the world would be a place where everybody could be taken care of, and nobody would have to do this 9-to-5 job, right? But that's not how life works. We have to do. So sometimes people say, okay, I have expectations at work, but otherwise I'm okay. No, we are usually engaged, and we get engaged, fine. Some people are not at all engaged. They're just attached, right? They want the results, but they're not giving their 100%. But some people will be engaged, but then without knowing it, they're attached. They're attached to the outcome. So you can be doing, say, a volunteer thing. And now with a volunteer thing, you're giving your 100%. But for some reason that the whole thing, you can't do that activity anymore. The whole organization collapses. Now your whole sense of identity also goes. Like, because you were attached to it, you derived something from it. I am good because I am doing this volunteer activity. So you see that attachments in terms of not just results, but so it is being conscious at every point. Or even somebody might not say thank you. Then also you realize you're so attached. Like, oh, I didn't get a thank you. People didn't say, thanks, Anisha, it was so good. Right? That is an attachment right there. Because the whole intention, it is not that I started with the right intention, but automatically, because I have this inbuilt over the years where I can start getting attached. And that's where, because now I'm looking for, the moment you do that, the next thing, every day it is that. So then every activity I'm doing only to get whatever be my form of reward. So Krishna is saying he's nothing to gain, he's nothing to lose. If you reach that stage, then will you become so detached that you won't care? That is the other aspect, right? Oh, now that I don't care, I have nothing to gain, nothing to lose. So now I'm so detached. In family, I'm not attached. At work, so then whatever, I won't give my 100%. That's what Krishna is saying. He's got nothing to gain, nothing to lose, yet engaged. There's a difference between the word engagement and attachment. With our children, we need to stay engaged. Attachment is where the problems begin. That's when you start getting, Mom. That's because we are attached. Engaged, every child wants the parent to be engaged in their life. But attached, nobody's looking for that. Nobody wants that. We want engagement. So they're like, even for a couple, they say, Rumi says, they're like, ideal couple is they're like two trees parallel, growing and supporting each other and making each other flourish, but not this. It's not this. So that is where you're completely engaged with your spouse. Even you can be engaged in sexual intimacy and not attached. But what happens, people get, the moment they are boyfriend, girlfriend, suddenly they're attached, right? The day they're before boyfriend, girlfriend, they're friends. Now they're so attached, I miss you, and now there's fights. And Fights come because of attachment. It will not come because of engagement. So, because only with attachment, disappointment will come. Engagement will not cause you disappointment because you are not doing it for anything to get out of it. So, if you are fighting with your children, if you're fighting with your spouse, if you are feeling disappointed in people, know that you have a sense of attachment. You may argue that point, go ahead, but instead it would be better if you do Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. Mean, after you've heard this today, observe yourself and realize what is the attachment. Attachment could be a sense of identity as a professional, as a mother, as a father, as a sister. That could be an attachment. Attachment to result, attachment to I'm the best cook in the world. I am, why do people not? It could be attachment to any little aspect of you. So that was, I wanted to make sure that I do that birthday. So how to be engaged, even though you have nothing to gain and lose. And so there is always this fear, right? Oh, and this person is going to read Gita, so now they're going to get detached. And no more for the family. No, that's not true. If they're reading Gita, they'll be even more engaged, but engaged, not so attached. Okay, now let's go to the next verse and we can start from there. So that is chapter 3, verse 23. And whoever wants to, you want to read it, Sangeeta?
Okay. Yeah. If I ever stop doing my continuous work, Arjun, everyone would follow my example in every way.
Okay.
Should I continue?
No, let's just do one verse at a time.
Okay.
So then there is, okay, maybe you can, and then we will, then I will go one at a time, but that way we can read this. You can do 20. We'll actually only do 23 and 24, but you can read the 25 and read the description too.
Okay. If I stopped doing, the worlds would perish. I would confuse all species and cause the destruction of all creatures. The enlightened do things with attachment, wanting some results for themselves. An enlightened person does things with the same zeal, Arjun, but without attachment, and thus guides others on the path of selfless action. Just as an ordinary person performs actions with selfishness, the enlightened one also does things, but without selfishness. The only difference, the ordinary person does things for his or her own benefit. The enlightened one does things for others' benefit. Performance of actions for others is in no way inferior. In fact, Sri Krishna says the selfless person should even act a little more carefully and more efficiently than a selfish person. A yogi is acting for everybody's sake and should do a little better job. Sometimes the attitude is, since I'm not getting much from this action, it's mainly for others. It doesn't matter how I do it. I'll just let it happen. Probably Sri Krishna knows this attitude is part of human nature. So he says, don't think that because you are acting selflessly, you can get away with something haphazard. In fact, you should do a better job. Who is a yogi? The one who performs actions skillfully and efficiently. Why? Your interest is to serve others. Since so many are going to be benefited by your action, you should do a better job. If an ordinary person doesn't do a good job, then only he or she loses. But if you don't do a good job, imagine how many people will lose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that was kind of what I was talking about, but let's go to verse number 23. And again, the word vartam comes here. Yadi, yadi means, of course, if. He aham na varteyam. He means certainly, aham means I, na means not, varteyam, engage. So certainly if I do not engage, jatu means ever, or even we can take it as without a pause. Karmani mean in the performance of the prescribed duties, whatever are the atandriya, atandritaha, atindritaha. Atandritaha mean carefully or with sincerity or with great attention. So if I do not engage in my prescribed duties with all my sincerity, with all my carefulness, without a pause, then what happens? So first line is that he's talking about being engaged, but then he's also talking about jatu, which means without a pause, means ceaseless action. So this is something that we are, Jyoti Ben was saying, oh, you are always, doing some action. Well, yes, we all are always doing action. Some of us may be doing some actions with sincerity, and some action we come home and then flop on front of the TV and become not so sincere. But actually, action done sincerely, ceaselessly. So there is a divide, the modern times, your probably your great grandparents and the grandparents even did not have this bigger divide. First of all, they did not have a TV, right? So they didn't have something to come home to and then say, oh, I have done a 9-to-5 job. Oh my God, now I need some 5 to next morning break. They didn't have that kind of life. They had to, if you were in India, the chula itself took hours, to cook. There would be a fresh meal in the lunch time, fresh meal at the dinner time, and they would be working from morning to night. So they woke up and they worked. The work may be different. Somebody might be the homemaker woman was cooking breakfast, packing, making everybody go, then doing lunch prep. So she's also working with all sincerity, singing the song. Women might be living together, singing, and then they're doing the lunch, and then they go towards the some activity for the home, and then do dinner, and then they go to sleep. You see, they worked with throughout the day. It was not such a divide before. Now with modern times, first of all, the concept of retirement also wasn't there, right? This is a new word, right? Retirement. Now we're going to be 65 and retire. Means so now we're going to be a complete waste. So now we're going to just sit and all our organs, all our joints, you're going to hurt more. You think you're going to retire and have a golden period? No, when the less you will move, the more you're going to. So this is a modern day, right? You have divided it every day into this 8-hour, 9 to 5. Then you have said from 5 to this many hours, and of course, sleep is sleep time. But Krishna is not talking like that. That's not how, if we were engaged, and if he's talking about staying engaged 24/7. He's not saying stay attached 24/7. Of course, if you stayed attached 24/7, you would be tired. The reason you're getting tired is because you are attached for this part of the day. Then you're coming home and now you want to detach and flop. And now you're not available for your spouse or your children, or for, attending a yoga class, or for doing something else, or reading, or, you're not available because, or somebody, volunteer, whatever you want to do, or doing a second job for. People think that is a big no. If you are engaged, the tiredness won't come. Then if you are attached, then you need that, oh my God, I'm so tired. Oh my God, now I need another cup of tea, and now I need another cup of coffee, and now I need that drink shot, and now because people are getting too, we say the other word, they get too caught up. That too caught up is entanglement. It's not engagement. Along with, so another word in English is entanglement. Both starts with E. One is engaged and one is entangled. Once you are entangled, your mind is like frying, you know? So you can attend a meeting. Imagine a table of people sitting in a meeting. Imagine yourself engaged and entangled. What is going to happen? Everybody is going to say something and everything is going to affect you. This person says something, you're going to respond, and you're going to, either they're going to agree with you, then also you'll feel good, or you're going to engage because you're going to engage. If those two are having some difference, you're going to engage there too. Your mind is so entangled. You're not just engaged, you're entangled. So it's not here, it's there. Engaged is you're doing the action, but I am sitting here. I can laugh at anything. I can watch them and I can kind of see the humor in that. The drama of human life I can observe in action. I'm not going to be ignorant. It doesn't mean, oh, mujhe to kisi ki burai dikhti nahi. You know, and no, I'm not saying that. If somebody is lazy, I can see that they are lazy. I will not give them the next job. You know, I will know if this next project, I don't want to take this person because they are inefficient, or this person has poor communication skill. Either I'm going to work with that person to improve. I'm not going to say, oh, you have great. I'm not going to pretend like you don't have fault. And this person is always in the victim mentality. I'm going to look at that. Engaged person will engage with everyone with where they are. An entangled person will completely, like, why is this person like this? They are adults. Why can't they be all like me, responsible? You know, everybody should be responsible, right? I am responsible. I am doing I go reach on time. I do everything on time. Why can't they be accountable and responsible? That is entanglement. And that then comes that's where the attachment is also coming from. So these are words, but Samgasteshu, no, but what he's talking about is Bhakteyam, which means engagement. If you're going to be engaged, you really can be engaged 24 hours. Even if you're sleeping, you're engaged in your sleep. You don't go to sleep and then start thinking about work. If you're going to do that, you can't sleep. People who have insomnia, what are they doing? They're supposed to go to sleep. That is the activity to do. But instead, their mind is, why are they not thinking about sleep? Why are you thinking about something? When you were doing that, think about that. Stay engaged in that. Now you've come back here. You decided to get in bed, turn off your light. Now don't get engaged in your thoughts somewhere else. So people may have social media. Okay, forget. Okay, they say, oh, I'm not going to do social media. But they're still in their mind. They're thinking. Why are you thinking? You are thinking because you are entangled. You're still entangled with that thing that happened 5 hours ago or during the daytime. Instead, can you stay, if you were engaged only at that time and now and all of us can go through phases, right? We can have those phases when we get really caught up in the drama and then we again bring back. But now when you bring yourself back, if you're going to sleep, stay engaged only in your sleep. Only you figure out what is your method. Today, so many of my patients, I find adults are suffering from insomnia. I can't fall asleep. It takes me an hour to fall asleep. Well, because you are not, when you are sleeping, you're not sincere in that. He's asking you to be atandrita, which means being completely sincere in your activity. So why can't you sleep and figure out a method? You figure out a method. What is the thought that helps you to go to sleep? I'm not going to think about if me tonight starts thinking about work, I definitely won't sleep because there are always tasks to do. Tomorrow there is more patient to see, some task to do, something to happen. No, you don't think about that. Now it's a sleep time. I'm going to be sincerely engaged in my sleep. I will allow my mind to simply go to my happy place. And before I know it, 5 minutes, I'm drifting away. But it's a conscious allowing myself to sincerely be in sleep. Before that, I have to be, if I'm going to be sincere about sleep, I have to be sincere about turning no social media after 9 o'clock, not after yoga class now. If I do that, That's the night I don't sleep. So don't do that. Don't go on any TV after this, because you know if you have to sleep by 10:30, you need an hour, at least minimum an hour before that, to not watch TV and to not see social media, to not see any technology. Then you can say that, man, I did even that, engaged with my sleep with all sincerity. So you engage there, then your body automatically sleeps. Now you wake up, then whether you have a routine of yoga or meditation or some walking or running or going to the gym or drinking a whatever be, or listening to some bhajans, whatever be sincere in that. Don't now sit down for meditation and start thinking about what you have to cook. Then be sincere in that. Then you can't say, well, but my mind goes. Yeah, your mind goes, but be sincere. Try. What you're doing is, now when you're cooking, imagine half the time you're cooking, your thoughts are somewhere else. So when you are cooking, your thoughts are somewhere else, but when you're meditating, your thoughts are in cooking. So you see, we are not being sincere in that action. We are not 100% present wherever we are. We are always waiting for the next thing. We're wanting this to get over so we can go to the next thing. Your Gita class should get over so I can get to dinner. Then when the dinner is going on, then I need to get to the TV. TV is going on, then I need to get to sleep. Sleep, it doesn't come anyway. So you see, that is where, so first line is, he is talking about being completely engaged, ceaseless work. So first is ceaseless work, sincere work, and now with complete attention and alertness. Okay, now what happens if he does not do that? Mam vartam, mam means my path, vartam means that path. Anuvartante mean will follow, or they will imitate, or they will follow my example. Manushya, all men. Partha sarvasha, in all respect. So that is what it means, is that if you do not follow your prescribed action, then what he's talking about is that other people will also follow that. Now, I want to do this verse by two ways. So he talked about Shrestha. In two verses before that, he talked about Shrestha. And we talked about, let's revise that Shrestha. So whatever the Shrestha person will do, whatever the person who is leading will do, everyone will follow that. So if we were to look just on material plane, if you are a business owner, whatever you will do is what your employees will do. You can't say, I want to have very sincere employees, but I'll get up at noon and go to work. It's not going to work. You can't expect your employees to be there at 7:30 while you're waking up at 12. It just won't happen. Try it. Or your children, we know, they don't do what you say, they do what you do. So if you ask your kids, you need to exercise, but you never do it, and say, they won't even say anything. They just will never pick up the habit. So whatever Shrestha does, others does. Now, when we take it internally, then let's go internal. And if Mahabharata is all within us, then Shrestha is what? Shrestha is, oh yeah, we have this here. So whatever Shrestha does. So what is our Shrestha? This is, if you imagine our intellect to be that Shrestha, then all your senses will follow that. If you have your intellect set right, then the senses will follow that. But if your intellect is only acting wrong, what will your senses do? So it is the moth follows the flame. So if you, what that means is, in a way, you know, there is this thing about people say, oh, you know, our parents had they were very strict with us. So now we are going to allow our children to do whatever they want to do. Society moved from that extreme to this extreme. So, but ideal is that if you have and this is your heart. So you cannot have the situation where you're going to follow your third eye, your wisdom, your intuition. If it is not aligned, if people say, I'm going to do whatever my heart desires, well, then it's not, there is no connection. This needs to be really for us. If you are on the path of elevation, your intellect needs to be in alignment with your heart. This and this needs to be aligned. But who is the boss? Intellect is the boss. So you can't, today I can say, oh, I really don't want to, I wake up at no, I not wake up, at 6:30, I'm like, I don't feel like doing the Gita class. I'm so tired all day. So then what? Am I supposed to follow my heart, right? So I should cancel? Shouldn't I? Because I don't feel, I'm tired. I am tired. Now, the new job is from 7:30 to 5. Of course, I'm tired. So then, but if I am aligned with here, this is the heart is still intuition made the decision, right? That yoga class I want to do, I not want to do, I need to do. And then the intellect made okay, this is Thursday, 7 to 9 p.m. This is how it can work. This is what can work. A year ago, in May, we decided that. Now, whenever if it is not well aligned, then I'm going to go in and out. Like one day I want to do this, next day I want to do this, third day. Oh, but then a year later I'll say, oh, I shouldn't have never stopped that yoga class. It was so good, I should have never stopped it. But you became heart. I just do everything with my heart. No, you have to have where the boss has to be this one. Shrestha is here in alignment with heart. But you can't say, oh, kiddos, you have to all be doctors because, I told you so. And then the poor kids can't follow their heart. You can't have that. It needs to be, if they decide they want to be a musician, well, then they can't today be a musician and then, go on that path for 5 years and then say, oh, no, I don't feel like doing that. Mom, can I come back home and then now I want to be this. No. We can't let be everywhere. So it has to be in alignment. If they want to be whatever, we teach them how to have this in alignment. You can't one day say, I want to go to this university. Now tomorrow I want to, heart, this manas will, when we say heart, we really are usually talking about manas, your lower mind, which is sense mind, right? Today it wants this, tomorrow it wants this, third day it wants this. So this is where Shrestha, if the Shrestha will do, then everybody will follow. But if Shrestha stops acting tirelessly, intellect has to work at all times. My intellect can't say, at work, I'll work. In the evening, when it's time to sleep, I'll do all kind of, oh yeah, I should not watch this and I should not, but well, what can I do? Facebook was just there. So I kept scrolling. It just happened. So ceaselessly, the intellect has to be engaged. That's how life, I'm not saying it will not lead to disciplined life. It will lead to a life of your choice. Because you want to sleep, because you want to be fresh in the morning. You yourself are the one tired. So sleep is nothing but your own choice. Don't sleep, but then you can't function because every human, every animal needs sleep. Number of hours can vary, but everybody needs. So this is the fundamental thing that we have to have our higher consciousness. When I say intellect, your intellect could be in alignment with the higher consciousness or deeper, or we can call it intuition, or inner wisdom, where if you're always in line with your inner wisdom, you will live your life to your highest potential. Otherwise, 10 years will go and you'll say, oh, other people at my age, so many things they do. And you know what? I've not done anything. I wanted to do this, but I didn't do. I wanted to do an MBA, but I just at that time got lazy, didn't do. I should have done it. I wanted to do this knitting class, but I thought I should have done it, but I didn't do. And now I wish I had done it. 5 years ago, it was available. The teacher was available. What is all that? That is also This is what this verse is all about. You have to engage your inner wisdom at all times with sincerity. All the senses will follow them. The senses are nothing but waiting for your direction. Because you're not giving it direction, it's going everywhere. Today I want to do this, tomorrow I want to buy that. You want, like even when you want to say Indians go to India once a year. So when you're going to India, you know you need, let's say, $5,000, $10,000. All year long, you know how to save to make it to that trip because you want the diamond necklace that trip too. So, or a gold necklace in that trip, or a finger ring, or a earring. When you've made that decision, every activity, every time you feel like spending some other money, you're like, no, I need to, I need to save and cut that corner, that corner. I know some, friends that do that. How do they manage at that time? Because they've made a decision, and now all the senses are agreeing with that decision. And by the end of when the time for trip comes, they have that money. They're not short on that because they know what they want, right? So that is what he's talking about. That if he stops performing, then everything, if he does not engage in his activities carefully, with all sincerity, then the others will also follow his example. So which is within us also, the same Mahabharata going on. Because Krishna is nothing but a Atman. So this is the deeper consciousness we're talking. So when you're Krishna, oh, there is no God sitting up there. Huh? I can put a picture of the God, but that doesn't mean that is why we do that. It is like as humans sometimes we are looking for that individual representation of what we are feeling. So God is not something, sitting up in heaven or sitting in that murti or sitting. It is what we are feeling. We don't know how to put it in. We don't have a baby that can, come out and become. So we put it in a form of somebody is taking a little Krishna murti and praying every day, and Meera is walking around, or I have Krishna, or somebody has, Jesus, somebody has Buddha, whatever. It creates that all that you feel, you have put it into this personalized God, and it gives you that sense of belongingness, because we are so frail human beings that we can sometimes live with just the expansiveness, and we don't need God. We do that because we are unable to completely own our own godliness. So we kind of give those properties to this person, and then we say, okay, we want to be like them. You see, that is what God is. But God is a word that I'm using, but it is that expansive consciousness that is everywhere. And you can call it God, you can call it nature, you can call it universe, you can call it a stone, you can call anything, but it is an experience. It is not out there. It is an experience. So either you are in touch with that, or those who are not tend to be out in the senses. Then the senses are guiding them, whether it is an entertainment industry person or a politician. If their senses are guiding, if Shrestha is not guiding them, if they have no sense of that inner wisdom guiding them, then they can be president of a country and they can be completely driven by the senses. 1 minute they say this, second minute they say this. Where is that coming from? So it is the inner chaos that is getting expressed, right? So that's all there is to that verse. Okay, let's go to the next verse. And you already read it. I'll just quickly do it. So, Utsideyuh ime lokaha. Utsideyuh means everything would collapse or would perish. Ime means all these loka and these worlds. Na kuryam karma chet aham. So if not, kuryam means performed, karma prescribed duties, chet means if, aham. If I cease if I do not perform, or if I cease to perform the prescribed duties, then all these worlds, all the inhabitants of these worlds would perish. Everything would be ruined. Sankarasya cha karta syam. Sankarasya means it will create, sometimes they interpret it as a admixture of the caste, but that's not what it means really. It means And we will discuss more in terms of this, but a kind of a confusion or a very mixture, very unvirtuous things will happen. And karta means responsible. I will be the cause of that. Upahanyam ima prajaham. So, and this ima means all this again, and praja means all the living entities, all the people. Upahanyam means would be destroyed. So he's saying basically that if I cease to perform all the prescribed duties, then all these worlds would collapse, and I would be the cause for all this admixture, all this confusion, all the pandemonium, and hence therefore would be responsible for all the destruction of all the living entities, all the prajaha. Now let's instead of talking about it more as God needs to do the work, and then if the God doesn't do the work, then somehow the whole world, 3 worlds will destroy. That is more religious interpretation. I personally feel that the interpretation, how does it matter to us? So if I am not going to, he's making a case basically for us to lead by this, the same thing that I was studying in the other verse. Krishna is making a case for us to lead from this inner knowing, the path of inner knowing, the path of deeper consciousness, so living from that path. What he's saying is this: if we don't align, if we do not perform all our prescribed duties in this pathway of engaged, then a lot of, so this is how, if I were to draw it, it would be like this. See, now I just want you to imagine, experience this, that if I don't perform this activity, so if this is my inner consciousness, when we say Krishna, Shiva, third eye, what is that? That is the consciousness, that is the awareness that he's talking about. If I don't perform the actions this way, then there is going to be, so this is my inner consciousness, then there are other layers to me too, right? So this is the, if this is the chitta, this is the buddhi, this is the ahankar, and this is the manas. And then of course you have the senses, right? So if I do not perform my prescribed duties, again, the word that again comes up is karma. Remember, he's not talking about you have to do some wonderful. Arjun at this point is required to do a particular karma. Karma is not some big purpose of your life. What is the purpose of my life? The purpose of your life is to do what you're doing right now with utmost sincerity. And then after this, what you're going to do next with utmost sincerity. To look within you, whatever you are doing, karma, to do with utmost engagement, to give you 100%. Whatever path, by this time, we all have chosen whatever paths we have chosen. We've chosen it and we are playing certain roles. So he's not here talking about pick a higher purpose, Arjun, do something. No, he's wanting him. Right now, he's in the middle of the battlefield. He needs to start. That is his karma. Once he will win the battlefield, then his karma will be to be a good ruler. It will involve on a daily basis a different action. And he will need to be engaged every day in a different way. Life is not a big, long life. Life is moments, right? It's moments of engagement. We have divided into an English clock of 24 hours. We have said, okay, this is morning, but it is a moment. You're living life only in moment. That is right now is your only truth. Your past is your imagination, your future is definitely an imagination. That is gone, this has not even come. So this is the moment. So karma means what is your prescribed duty? He's talking about this right now. If you do not perform at this moment, this activity, listening right now, and me, I am saying something for me, saying something for you, listening. If you don't perform it with your utmost sincerity, this action, then there will be admixture or there'll be a confusion. What is the confusion? If you're not engaged, what are you doing? You are thinking, your manas is thinking of something else, your ahankar is thinking of something else, your senses are, so you are hungry at the same time as you're thinking, God, she's talking too much, to think, when is this going to end, to thinking, all kind of thoughts are going on. And then the time is over, like, oh, what did she talk about the whole time? I forgot what was in that class. It's a good Gita class. Next time I'm going to listen more carefully. This time I was listening, and then, I was listening, and then a text came, and then, I got busy. And then I forgot. And then I thought, okay, let me just check that. And then what do students do? You tell me. Students have the time, are sitting in the class and busy on social media. That is what he's talking about. It is going to cause this confusion where what are you trying to do? You are trying to see how to live your life meaningfully, peacefully. Well, for that, there is a time to engage with senses. If suppose, I'm not saying senses are for performance of the world, right? So if suppose you say, your child says, I want to go to King's Island. Well, then go enjoy with those senses. Go eat with your child in the ice cream place, do the ride. Give you 100%. Enjoy it. Don't then say, they go there and say, oh, I need to think about Gita. No. Engage with your senses. You went there, intentionally engage, enjoy, make it a wonderful day for your child. So that is a time to engage sincerely here. But even then, your awareness, your guidance was coming from your inner knowing. This is my time to spend with my child. People do what? Child says, I want to watch a movie with you. Mama, can you watch a Batman movie with me? Mama is watching but thinking of something else. That is not movie watching. I'm not engaged. So if I have decided, either I say to the child, no, I'm not going to watch with you because I don't want to watch. I don't like. If you're going to watch, engage your senses, watch it with so much sincerity that you get something out of it. Don't just then say, there, Batman movies are stupid, this is stupid, superhero movies are bekar, I only watch, I'm so deep person, No, you're actually more stupid then. So completely engage then. Get the most out of it, because every movie, God knows how much effort goes, and what a great acting. I just saw recently with Arman, what was that, Joker. Oh my God, it's a movie. I didn't know that the Joker would be such a good movie. It is a very emotional movie, the life. What a movie. But on my own, I would have never watched. Never in this lifetime. But because Arman said, I watched, and that's what you do. You completely engage. And then you are done. It's not, otherwise at 48, I wouldn't watch that movie, right?
So Anisha ji, one question.
Yeah, go ahead.
We have discussed earlier, right? The three guna, tamsik, rajsik, and sattvic.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So we categorize. So we know that karma is can be by thoughts, by words, or by actions.
Right.
So when I think like the karma, what we are doing by thoughts or by words or by actions, right? Can we categorize in such a way, okay, if I'm doing such karma, it can be tamsik or it can be rajsik. Rajsik, you say it like kind of I or me, or because of self I have to do, because of name I have to do, because of visibility I have to do. If that kind of mentality comes in mind, right, that is not called as a sattvic karma, right? Yeah. So that is rajsik. So when I'm asking these types of karma, can we link to these gunas also, the type of karma what we are doing by thinking or by words or by actions, or it's totally different than karma thing?
No, it's completely related. So number one, the Rajasic and the Tamasic are considered a Vikruti of the mind. So, if we look at the imbalance, so actually, unlike, if we look at, from the Veda perspective, from the Ayurveda perspective, Vata, Pitta, Kapha, that is in the body, right? Now, in terms of mentally, only Sattva is what is. Do we go to sleep? Yes, we go to sleep, and we can consider that as a bit of a tamas. But the Rajasic and Tamasic for any action is considered as a Vikruti. So that means every action can be done with as more sattva. Now, when we talk about karma, what is a karma? So there is a division that is caused by that. If in the past, that's how the caste system even came around. That if a person was more sattva, if you are in general more sattva, you will naturally gravitate towards certain kind of jobs. If you have more rajas, if you understand that you have more rajas, you don't want to take a job of you may want a more dynamic job. You may need to have a more action filled job. You may be more of a, maybe a stockbroker even. You can be a doctor, you can be an engineer, you can be, but all of us are, a lot of us have a lot of rajas, right? So we are utilizing that rajas in proper, in figuring out what is the occupation that will suit us more. Now, when we are doing action, then we have eventually to cultivate. If you do the action with too much rajas, if I do the action with too much rajas, it is going to cause me to easy burnout. It will cause my mind to be too fast. So actually, first is realizing, and the whole sattva, rajas, tamas, there is a whole chapter in Gita about that. So it will come. But sattva, rajas, tamas, if I know about myself, I do have rajas, right? So what do I have done over the years? My rajas was a lot more before. I had tamas also a lot more before, and then gradually with understanding, with more introspection, I have where you cultivate more sattva. Now the action may be the same, I still have to go to work, still have to do the house cleaning, still have to be the roles I have to play. But my state of the mind is more sattva while doing it. So that is the difference. Now, yeah, the action is in word, thought, or deed. All three are karma. But when he's talking about engaging in action, he's actually talking about, when we are talking about karma yoga, we are actually not talking just about engagement in thought. We are talking about actual action in terms of how to use a karma to reach it to karma yoga. So we are actually talking about actual action. But you can't do an action and still be, thought, words, and action have to be aligned. So you could be doing.
So can I say with right intent and, consciously doing the actions is the best. I mean, I cannot say best karma, but it is kind of sattva karma, right? Rather, we are doing the same action, but the thoughtfulness is different than what we are thinking earlier or we are doing earlier, right? Like the state of mind will change, correct?
Absolutely. So right intent and very thoughtfully, consciously, that's exactly makes it sattvic. So you're absolutely right. And then if you did the same action, but yes, your mind was all over, or mind was engaged in, say, anger thoughts, frustration thoughts, unaccept thoughts of and not accepting people as they are while you're working with them, then it is more rajasic. So if there are 5 people in your project team, nobody's going to be like you, first of all. everybody's going to be unlike you. So basically, that's an understanding that you have to know. Your spouse does not think like you. Your project people don't think like you. Unfortunately, nobody does. Okay. So because nobody does, one is going to be more lazy, one is going to be more hyper, one is going to be slightly, dense. So you will have 5 people. One cannot get the concept, one gets the concept but is too much into it, one talks too much. That's the kind of group you will get. Now, if you are sattvic in the group, you will know all of them and you will be not at all affected by that. You will be able to work with each one's fault, fully identifying it. And in your mind, there is not a whole frustration going on about it. But if you are in Rajasic, you will be frustrated with the one who's a little dense and not getting the point. You will be, you can be angry at those who are slow. You can be really annoyed with the one who talks too much. So within those 5 people, the whole day has gone. And
Right, got it. Yeah, I mean, in Tamsik, I may, as a project manager, I can remove that resource. Hey, he's not up to the mark, or he's not. But in Rajasic, I will think, why is not responsible like me, for example, or why is not like
that. Every Rajasic thinks like that. Why are they not like me?
And Sattvic, I will think, okay.
And the other thing is competitiveness. Rajasic person is a hard time. They always want to be the best. So it's very hard for them in a project to really not, in some way possible be better than others. They're always trying to, they cannot accept that everybody can be unique. And so the moment they find somebody else is the best, they do lose a little sleep on that, So,
right, that ego comes, right? In Rajasic, the ego state of
Rajas is ego, and Rajas can be tamasic too. Ego can be Rajasic, or ego can be tamasic too. So, but if you are with the same group of people and you are the one who's lazy, and you are the one who's not accountable, you are the one who tries to get away, cut corners, but not let others know, you are the one who's secretive, and then you are tamasic. Then you are really the so you are the leader, but you are the one who's people are the secretiveness is also tamasic. So
okay.
is more. So yeah,
got it. Thank you.
Same action, but the day, what do you think happens to the one who Rajas comes back completely exhausted from work? The same group of people were there. The Sattva goes home and says, people are interesting bunch of, this world is full of interest, and blocks it off. Tamasic is happy that, today again got paid for doing nothing. So,
Yeah, well explained. Yes, got it.
Yeah. So let's do now quickly our Arman got picked up by someone else, so I didn't have to go. Let's do quickly our Anulom Vilom. And those who are doing it, we can do for the count of 8 we are doing right now. But those who are doing lower count, just do your count. So for the same count, you inhale, hold, exhale, hold. So let's start. So with that, let's end today's session, and we will again meet next Thursday, 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time.
Anishaji, one quick thing. We have a due on Sankhya Yoga, Gyan Yoga. So whenever you get time, just let me know for 10-15 minutes. I still have a question.
Okay. Then I'll try to call you on Friday maybe.
Friday, yeah, that's fine.
Tomorrow
For 10-15 minutes for me is okay.
Sure. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anisha. Good night.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Anisha.
Thank you, Jaya.
Bye. Good night.
Good night.